So if your budget is around 600 and you're thinking about moving to Northern Colorado, you are in one of the most competitive and most strategic price points in the market.
Because $600,000 can buy you a really solid house here in Northern Colorado, but what that house looks like depends heavily on where you buy.
So in Loveland, 600 might get you more space, a bigger lot, and possibly a finished basement.
In Fort Collins, that same budget might get you a little bit less of a house, but a stronger location, better walkability, and more lifestyle.
And what about Windsor? Yeah, you may get a newer construction, cleaner finishes, and more polished suburban feel, same budget.
Three very different outcomes. So today we're gonna break it down exactly what $600,000 gets you in Loveland, Fort Collins, and Windsor with real world home comparisons by budget.
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Real Talk Colorado. And if this is your first time here, my name's Zach Jordan.
My name is Connor Martin.
And on this channel, we're gonna break down the real truth about living in Northern Colorado. The good, the bad, the overpriced, the underrated.
No fluff, no sugarcoating, no every house is amazing realtor nonsense. Just honest local insight to help you make a smart move.
And today we're gonna talk about one of the biggest questions buyers ask right away out of the gate.
What can I actually get for my budget here?
And honestly, that's the right question to be asking.
Because in Northern Colorado, price point matters, but location changes everything here.
100%. And real quick, if you're thinking about moving to Northern Colorado and want the honest real world breakdowns like this every week, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell down there. We put out weekly videos. We want to help you understand what actually costs to live here, what the different budgets buy, and how to avoid overpaying in the wrong area. And if you're planning on making the move and you want help figuring out what budget can be realistic for you here in Northern Colorado, reach out anytime to us.
Yep, call, text, email, smoke signals, whatever works.
Yes, we help people relocate here on a weekly basis, and we'd be more than happy to help you build the right game plan. So let's go ahead and talk real numbers with you. $600,000? Yeah, that sounds like a heck of a lot. That's more than $500,000. It's one of the most important price points in the Northern Colorado market though, because this is where buyers start getting real options. This is the sweet spot for move-up buyers, relocation buyers, family needing more space, buyers upgrading from a starter home, buyers trying to balance monthly payments with long-term lifestyles. At $600,000, you're no longer shopping at the low end of the market.
Yeah, and you're not quite to that luxury either. You're in that middle lane where strategy matters. And this is where location starts making a very noticeable difference in what your money buys. At this price point, you're usually choosing between three things: more house, better location, newer finishes, and most buyers get two out of the three, rarely all three. That's the trade-off.
And if we can, we're gonna try to get you all three. We do our best. We work miracles for many clients. I call myself the buyer bulldog in the office. I love the buy side of things. So we are your people. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Loveland and talk about what $600,000 will get you here. Your money usually stretches much further. In most cases, this budget will get you probably a 4 to 5 bedroom house, 3 to 4 bathrooms probably.
Yep. Roughly
Roughly around 2,500 to 3,500 square feet, I'd say.
Yep.
A larger lot, you're probably looking at that 0.15 to 0.23 acre size lot, which is gonna give you a ton more yard space. Often you're gonna have a finished basement, better flexibility across neighborhoods. So at that $600,000, you can pretty much get into most neighborhoods here.
Yep.
Yes, we're gonna have those luxury neighborhoods, but those are gonna be a blend of having luxury homes at that 1.2 all the way down to a $650,000 home. So
yep, that is the nice part about most towns here, is that they have the mix of houses, from condos, townhomes in there to $3 million houses. And so we have a very nice mixed community. So if you like a community, no matter your budget, there's more than likely a way to get you in there if you're up around that $600K price point.
Absolutely. And so this is where Loveland gets really attractive for those buyers who care about practical value. Because if your priority is space, usability, and overall bang for your buck, Loveland tends to be a very hard thing to beat. At this price point, you can often find established neighborhoods with mature landscaping, that larger ranch style home, bigger 2-story homes, finished basements, better lot sizes, more garage and storage flexibility. The trade-off, though, Connor.
Yeah, you may still sacrifice some of the cosmetic updates. You may not be in the trendiest pocket of town, and depending on neighborhood, some homes may still feel a little outdated. They might have those orange, yellowish cabinets. They might have, maybe tiled granite on the countertops. You might not feel the exact brand new 2026 builds, but in terms of raw house for the money, Loveland is usually the strongest value to play of the three.
Yeah, so if your goal is maximizing square footage and getting the most usable house for your money, Loveland usually becomes a very strong front runner.
Now, we just finished up Loveland and what you can get for $600K. Now let's talk about Fort Collins, the big brother. This is where the same $600K still buys less house than Loveland does, but more lifestyle. In Fort Collins, that $600K will usually get you that 3 to 4 bedroom, 2 to 3 bathroom, roughly around that 1,900 to 2,700 square feet. But you're going to see significantly smaller lots, lot smaller yards. The neighborhoods are going to feel significantly tighter and more buyer competition. Right now in 2026, we're starting to see multiple offers coming back in again. So
yes, the multiple offers are hitting.
Yep.
I mean, we're seeing appraisal clauses and gaps. Like, we're seeing all kinds of things. We're seeing escalation clauses. It's crazy.
Yeah, Fort Collins is where you continue paying a premium for the location, the demand, and the lifestyle. That means your money often only buys less square footage, that smaller lot, more neighborhood density, and older homes in better locations. So if location matters more than the house you're living in, Fort Collins could be a pretty sweet spot for you, but if that house truly matters because that's where you're going to spend a majority of your time, Loveland or Windsor could be a heck of a better difference for you when you're searching for a home here in Northern Colorado. So what you're paying for in Fort Collins is going to be that proximity to downtown, the bars, the fun, the excitement, the access to CSU, the better walkability, better bike trails, more restaurants, more nightlife, stronger social energy, and higher perceived lifestyle value than maybe what you'd see in a Loveland or Windsor. So yes, you usually get less house, but for many buyers, you're buying more for what's outside the front door. That's the Fort Collins trade-off. Less house, more lifestyle.
Yeah, because honestly, to get that, I call functioning home in Fort Collins, you're going to be that $750 price range.
Yeah.
To kind of provide you that space, that mature landscape, and all the other stuff along with that lifestyle.
It's crazy when I look on the MLS to sit there and say, when I'm looking for clients that actually consider a Loveland or a Windsor, you look at Fort Collins, at that $600,000 price point, you're getting an updated bi-level, tri-level. It's harder to find those ranch-style homes.
And you're lucky if they're updated. Sometimes they just do some cheap aesthetics updates of like maybe some carpet, some paint, paint the existing doors. They're not replacing doors, so you still have those hollow doors. They didn't touch the bathrooms. They may have touched the kitchen. So yeah, $600,000. If you find something that is updated, like pull the trigger, sight unseen. Like it's probably a good deal. You probably have to do some yard work, have some curb appeal, but.
Yeah, and a lot of things that people don't think about too is the age of the homes. Like a lot of people in Fort Collins, I kind of consider it a bedroom community because people aren't going to live there for maybe 2 to 5 years. And then they're going to abuse that house, and then they're going to move on to the next big thing. And so a lot of the infrastructure of the house, from furnaces, AC units, roofs, a lot of that's going to be outdated, older, and could become problems later on down the road.
And those are your big ticket items. So maybe you did get that house for $600,000, but hey, you have another $40,000 coming just in mechanicals.
It's not just the pretty updates that you're going to see. Fort Collins, you're going to be paying a premium. And so getting a home warranty when you buy a house, which we can talk to you guys in person about, is a huge difference in Fort Collins versus a Loveland, where maybe you're going to see homes that are a little bit newer, more updated, and have been well taken care of because it is a little bit different of a community. Loveland, most of us are here to stay for a long time, where Fort Collins, we're definitely seeing more people fluctuate in and out all the time.
Yeah, like how long have you been in your house, Connor?
Been here 10 years now.
Oh, we're at the same. So the house I'm in right now, I've been at 10 years. So yeah, we're here for the long run.
Yep.
Alrighty. Now, Windsor is where things get really interesting because Windsor offers a lot of land right in the middle. At that $600,000 in Windsor, you can often get still a 4 to 5 bedroom, a 2 to 4 bath, roughly, I don't know, 2,300 to 3,000 square foot.
Yep.
You're going to most likely be in a newer construction just with the growth there.
Yep.
So more modern finishes, smaller to moderate lot sizes, and it's super focused on family. So these are strong family focused neighborhoods, which is awesome. It's just going to be newer, different vibe than the other two places. So Windsor often gives buyers the most polished product at that price point. So if that is what you're going for and still want a beautiful community to live in, Windsor's going to be great for you. So in Windsor, buyers tend to get that new subdivision, better finished packages, open layouts, that more modern kitchen feel, but just because they're newer systems, because we're in that new community. Yep. Yeah, so less deferred maintenance, that you're not taking on somebody else's headache. So Windsor often feels much newer, cleaner, more turnkey than Loveland at that same price point. The trade-offs though are going to be usually sacrifice that mature landscaping, being a new community, those larger lot sizes, because land is what is expensive when you're buying here. So that kind of stuff. You're not going to have those older neighborhoods with that character, or that charm, or that a lot of people, when they're looking for a house, are like, we want a house with charm, a house with character. You're not going to get that. This is going to be that modern new finish, which in many cases is my liking.
It's the master build HOAs that we've been seeing in probably more other states than Colorado. Windsor is definitely on the forefront of master built HOAs, where they're going to have the pool included. They're going to have multiple parks included. But with that trade-off is, because they're newer neighborhoods, and we're seeing it in Fort Collins, we're seeing it in Loveland, metro districts are becoming a huge thing when it comes to all these newer builds. You're going to be paying a premium on your taxes, which allows that neighborhood to have some of those
amenities that everybody wants. Yeah. If you want the amenities, you're going to pay for them. Nothing comes for free. Remember that.
No free lunches here.
No free lunches. Yeah. So Windsor tends to appeal to most buyers who care about those modern finishes, newer neighborhoods, and cleaner suburban feel, less charm, and more turnkey.
So, who is each market best for at that $600K price point? Do you want to choose Loveland if you want the most house for your money, and to also to be as close as you can to the foothills?
Yes, the views are better too.
Yeah, Windsor's awesome, but if you're wanting to jump out your back door and be in the foothills mountains in a 15 to 25 minute drive,
a Wakeless Lake, paddleboarding,
Loveland's definitely a key spot. So if you're going to be looking at Loveland, you're going to care more about that square footage, the lot size, the flexibility of storage, and a practical value than having the trendiest dressed like a Fort Collins. Loveland is the value play.
So you should probably choose Fort Collins if you care more about what's outside than maximizing what's inside. If you're okay sacrificing a little bit of square footage, that better location, that stronger walkability, more restaurants, and that lifestyle that you're trying to achieve, Fort Collins is the lifestyle play.
Now, if the lifestyle outside the door is not your biggest concern, in house and new and not having to deal with a bunch of problems with houses, Windsor is going to be your play. If you want something that's newer, cleaner, more turnkey, you care more about modern finishes, newer neighborhoods, and a polished suburban feel, Windsor is really going to be that turnkey suburban play for you. And if you want all those neighborhood amenities that you're seeing in other states, Windsor is definitely going to be the spot for you.
Yeah. And this is where a lot of buyers realize pretty quickly the best house usually isn't in the biggest house. It's the one that fits how you actually live. So really take that into consideration. So here's what a lot of buyers mess up. They start asking, where can I get the nicest house? Who wants the nicest house? You don't want that.
No.
When the better question is, where does my budget align best in how I can actually live? Because the nicest kitchen in the wrong location is still the wrong house.
Yep, 100%. Yeah. I've seen too many of my clients that have made that mistake, and then they tend to move about 2 years later.
Yeah. Another thing is the biggest house in the wrong city is still not the right move for you. And the smallest house in the right location may actually be the smartest long-term decision you'll ever make. That's just the game.
It's not just what your money buys, it's actually what your lifestyle needs is what we're really wanting to focus on.
Yeah, because that is why we want to move to Northern Colorado anyway. You are moving here mostly for the lifestyle. Yes, we want to stretch that dollar and get our ideals and our practicals, but like sometimes take a step back. Maybe it doesn't have all your check boxes, but it checks most of those things, because one thing that you haven't experienced is the lifestyle yet, especially if you're relocating from out of state. So hands down, lifestyle is second to none. I don't know of any other place that I would want to move to. And I'm very active in all different kinds of things. Like, yes, I like the nightlife, the bars, the restaurants, but I also like the outdoor life as well. So being able to hop on a trail, ride around town, get on one of the trails to go hiking, fishing, paddle boating. I mean, you have all your motorsports. So yeah, really think lifestyle, guys.
Yeah. So what does 600,000 get you in Northern Colorado to conclude this? In Loveland, it's more house. In Fort Collins, more lifestyle. And in Windsor, more polish.
Yeah, so same budget. Yes, 3 completely different outcomes. And that's exactly why where you buy matters just as much as what you buy.
So drop a comment below. Let us know, with a $600K budget, are you choosing Loveland, Fort Collins, or Windsor? And if you're planning a move and want help figuring out which city actually gives you the best fit for your budget, reach out anytime. We're happy to help, and we'll see you in the next one.
So keep it real. Until next time, peace.
Peace.